Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Reina. So I'm Marcia, and I'm here on behalf of Gelli Arts. And if I step aside this way, you can see my wall of Gelli plates. I'm one of the Gelli Arts brand ambassadors. And today we are going to gel print with plants. So let's get started. What you see here is my table, and on the table is an 8x10 Gelli Arts gel printing plate. And the packaging looks like this. Oh, I have to do something before I can see. Yeah, okay. No, I don't want to leave the meeting. That's not handy. So the packaging looks like this, and the plate comes with two of these transparencies, one on the bottom and one on the top, and you can remove these before you start printing. And I actually never put them back on. If I have to put the gel plate back in the packaging, I will show you on this one. I sandwich it between two pieces of computer paper, something like that. So like this. This is the other plate that Michael carries, the 5x7. But as I said, I'm going to use the 8x10. The other thing that I will be using is a brayer. This is a Speedball soft rubber brayer. And what else? I am going to be printing on these. This is a value pack of cards and envelopes from Recollections, and these are the 5x6.5 inch cards, and they come with envelopes too, but I'm not going to use envelopes today. So here I've got the cards. What else do I have? I have a damp cloth. This is a microfiber cloth to clean the plates in between if necessary. And I have paints, and I will try and tell you which colors they are, but I mainly got Winsor & Newton Galeria acrylics today. And the most important thing I have lots of twigs and herbs, and I even have a lavender plant here and some flowers that I cut from my garden, and I even got some weeds from the side of the road. Yeah, so most of these are fresh. However, if you don't have fresh ones, that's okay, because you can do the same thing with dried flowers too. It might look a bit different, but it will work. So what the aim is today is to make something that looks like this. So these are ones that I made earlier. This is a really nice one. These are just leaves. This is a completed print. Oh, this is not a plant, but a feather, but it's the same principle. Anyway, so let's try and make some of these. I will put this aside. And I'm going to start with a nice blue color. This is process cyan. And you only need a drop of paint. And then I'm going to brayer it all over my plate. And I'm not rolling back and forth like this, but I'm rolling one way, picking up the brayer and then putting it down again, rolling. And I'm not pushing, I'm just gently rolling. And then the excess paint you can roll off on a scrap of paper that you can see. And then I'll just grab some of these mint leaves and put them on here. Now you can see these aren't flat because they are fresh from the garden. So what I usually do is just push them down as gently as I can. And this means that I don't know what's happening underneath. But I found that if I don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. And if you really want to make sure that every leaf is the way you want it, you can try drying your herbs beforehand. So if I pick this up, you get something like this. So this is a nice silhouette. But I usually tend to like what's underneath even better. I'm just going to take another card. If you are quick enough, you can pull this print. And now I forgot to tell you about one thing. This is tissue paper that I'm putting on top. And it will come in handy for more than one thing, as you will see in a moment. But right now I'm using it to keep my hands clean because the plate is bigger than the card I'm printing on. Well, let's see if this worked. So yeah, there you have it. Sometimes the paint dries too quickly. And then you won't get a print like this, but you will have more paint on your plate. And that's okay. If that's the case, you can get another color of paint. I usually take white, but you can also take like a contrasting color. This is titanium white, by the way. And then you can roll that out. And pull another print. And I don't know, oops. I don't know if you can see that, but there is kind of a border here left on the plate from the blue paint. And I'm going to align my paper to that blue line. I know it's going to be harder to see for you, but That's what I'm doing. And again, I'm using the tissue paper to keep my hands clean. So I'm using it to remove those stripes of paint where there's no card. So this is what I call a ghost print. And you can also call it, sometimes it's called a cleanup print, because as you can see, there's almost no paint left on my plate. Are there any questions so far? No picture. How did you do that last one, please? I will do it again. Don't worry. I will do it again. So now I've got 3 prints from one coat of paints. However, this is not the most beautiful print that I like. So I like this one better. So what I usually do is the following, and let's take another color. This is deep turquoise. Only using a drop. And there are now some tiny bits on my plate that I'm just going to ignore for now, but if that's something that bothers you, I will show you in a minute what you can do about that. Oops. Let's see. I'm now cutting my lavender. I think I'm going to leave that one there. And one more. So instead of putting the card down right away, I usually use the tissue paper to get rid of the excess paint around the flowers first. And I'm pushing the heads of the flowers down a bit. And the cool thing about the tissue paper is that you can really feel what's going on, and you can not only feel it, but you can also see it. So you can make sure that all of the paper that you want in contact with the paint is actually in contact with the paint. And now, if I pull this up, there is hardly any paint left around the flowers. And here I've got the nice silhouette. And now, if I pull this up, this smells wonderful. So now you can see I have a problem because there are small bits of plant on my plate, and it will be very hard to remove it without damaging what's underneath and being quick at the same time. So I'm going to try, but maybe I can do this. Use a bit of tape. Well, kind of. It's kind of working. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to try and pull a print, but the paint might be too dry already. Let's see what happens. So I usually just use my hands to burnish the print paper. But you can also use the brayer for this if you want to make sure that you apply enough pressure. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. The paint is dry. Now I can show you again what the ghost print is. So, and just to show you that you don't need white paint, you can use another color too. I'm using process yellow. Now I need to get rid of these lavender things. And you're doing this right if you can see the original image underneath. And of course, now I'm using transparent paint, but the same goes for the white, the opaque white paint. Getting rid of these yellow borders. And there's the ghost print. So if you are wondering about transparent or opaque paint, because I mentioned it, if you have the packaging of the paint, there usually is a little square on the back or on the front, but there is a little square. And if the square is open, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see this open square? I think so. That means that the paint is transparent. And if the square is filled in, completely filled in, that means that the paint is opaque. And then there are half transparent and half opaque paints too, but I don't know if I have. Yeah, I do. So you also have a square with a stripe in the middle. So that means half translucent or half transparent. And this one has a black triangle. And so that means that this is in between transparent and opaque. We have this. Another thing you can do, which is fun. Let me see. Let's use this. Oh, let's use this. This is permanent magenta. And I'm not cleaning the plate in between. So I'm probably mixing a little bit of color. That's okay. What am I going to use now? So I got these from the side of the road, and they are closed now, which is a shame because during the daytime they are open, but we are going to use them anyway. And I also should mention that if you want to pick flowers from, not from your garden, you should actually check if it's allowed. But these are just weeds, so I wasn't doing anything wrong. But where I live, it's actually not permitted to go wildflower picking. So before you just go out and pick flowers from somewhere that's not your garden, you should check. Because I don't want you to do anything that's illegal.
And Marcia, we do have a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I just wait a minute? Because if I stop now, this is going to be dry. So
okay.
one short moment. So what I wanted to do is try and pull this off right away. And I'm, again, I hope that I'm doing this okay. I'm just looking at that stripe border again. And I'm going to try and print this on the same card. Let's see if yeah. So this is what you can do too. I used the border of the paint that was left on the plate to align the print and to make sure that it's, now it looks like a photocopy, a colored photocopy. Anyway, what's the question?
All right, so we have a couple questions about the paints.
Yeah.
Someone's asking to elaborate on how transparent paint versus opaque paint would work differently with this project.
Okay, so let's do that. First, I'm going to show you that how I clean the plate is by wiping it with my damp microfiber cloth. And if that isn't working, or if the paint is too dry, you can try a baby wipe. And if it's just, you know, these little plant parts, you can also try the tape method that I showed earlier. Because usually the dried dried plant parts are harder to remove with a cloth. Anyway, so transparent, okay, and opaque. Let me see if I have, which one did I show you? This one. So this one is opaque. This one is transparent. Do I have? Yeah, so I don't have two paints that are really alike here. So I'm going to demonstrate using these. So this is the process cyan, and it's semi-transparent. And this one is the pale violet, and that's opaque. So if I use the transparent first, and I roll it out. And this doesn't just apply to this project, it applies to all gel printing projects. So if I now place some leaves on here, and these are almost dry because I put them in a plant press or a flower press beforehand. And if I now, am I going to do this one? Let's take this one. If I now print on, oh, that's not smart. I am going to print on this one. I'll pull the print over this one that I pulled earlier. If you use transparent paint, you will still be able to see everything that was there before, just in another color. So I didn't cover it. I just gave it another color. What am I going to do with this? Let's, I'm going to pull that on another card. Ooh. That's cool. So the leaves are now on here, but I still have an outline. That's fun. We are just going to ignore that for a minute because now I have here the opaque paint. And I'm going to put that on the plate. And now if I place down the leaves again, I can actually see where the leaves were before. So I can put them back in the same way. So now I'm going to take this print and I'm going to put the paper on top and use my tissue paper again. I'm using the same piece of tissue paper over and over again. Because I want it to look nice and colorful afterwards. So I can use this as collage material for this. And I'm not really paying attention to anything that was there before. If I want tissue paper that looks like this, I can always make more. Going to pull that up. And now, if you can see, the image that was there before is still visible, but a lot less visible than the image here. So I hope that explains what opaque and transparent is and what it can do. So opaque paint disguises what is underneath, and this still shows it. And you can use that to your advantage. So now this looks really, really cool. So I need to pull a print, maybe on top of this. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you can see it, but the light is changing. There are now clouds coming in because there's a window over there. And so I don't know if you see a light change, but I can see it. Let's see what happened. Ooh, I like this very much. So maybe it's fun to show you again what you can do with transparent and opaque paints. Just going to get rid of this leaf outline. And what would be nice? I kind of like the permanent magenta. If I can find it again. And oops. I'm trying to roll this out very gently so I don't get any of those brayer lines. Sometimes if you get those lines, you need to clean your brayer, but my brayer is clean. So there's no dried paint on the sides, but you might experience that every once in a while. Well, I'm just going to put this here kind of random. And then I'm going to remove the excess paint from around the leaves. Now I've got a nice silhouette on here again. If I pull this up. And which way? I don't know, like this, I think. Whoops. Now I have to be careful because this is still a little bit wet. And I don't want to tear the paper. There we go. Look at that. So you can go on and on and on with different colors or the same colors. I kind of feel like this could use a little yellow because it's my favorite color combo. Yellow, cyan, magenta. And I think this is going to be the last print I will be able to pull with these leaves because they look kind of saturated now, if that's the correct word. But let's try it. Are there any questions in between?
Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
Oh, this looks fabulous. So there is one question here about paint.
Yeah.
And it says, can you make an opaque paint transparent?
No.
Okay.
Well, you could mix it with like a glazing liquid, or oh, what else? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to speak and print at the same time.
All right, while you're thinking of that, we're getting a lot of paint questions, and I just want to remind everybody, we don't make paint, but there are a lot, but we'll answer what we think we can. The other one was, is the yellow paint transparent?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah. And then why is color sometimes called permanent? For example, permanent magenta.
Yeah, so I'm not a paint expert, but I think it has to do with how permanent it is, in the way of it stays that color for a long time, and it yeah.
We can probably Google it. Okay.
Yeah, no, it has to do with fugitive colors and permanent colors. So permanent colors, it just means that it has a really it ages well.
Okay.
And it stays the same color. I don't know how to explain it. You should probably ask that question in Winsor and Newton class.
Right.
Because they know exactly what it means.
So Tanya mentioned it probably has to do with light fastness.
That's the word I was looking for.
I know.
Correct.
I know.
Yeah. So if it says permanent, then it's more durable and it's more light fast.
Okay.
So I did not pay attention, and I pulled the silhouette print, but it actually turned out really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like this print.
Okay. One other quick question: Can you use tracing paper instead of tissue paper?
I think you can. I think tracing paper is a little bit more stiff. Tissue paper can really get into all the creases. So that's why I also don't use deli paper or parchment paper for this. I really want to use the tissue paper because I want to be able to push it in between all the twigs of the plants, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to throw these into the trash because they are covered with paint now. I thought you had more questions, but
well, somebody just asked, what other types of paints can you use? Can you use any paint? And so the deal, you can answer that. There are so many choices.
I use craft paints. I use these student grade acrylic paints. I use professional paints. I use glitter paints sometimes. I use metallic paints. You could even try watercolor, but there's some technique involved with watercolor. I don't tend to like tempera paints on the gel plate, and I don't tend to like oil paints on the gel plate. But that doesn't mean you can use them, but I don't use them.
And I'll put a plug in for Crayola Premier tempera paints. They work really well.
Yeah, so I have never used those, so that's probably why I say it doesn't work for me, but maybe that one does work for me. I don't know. And the other thing is, of course, printmaking inks can also be used on the gel printing plates. and stamping inks and alcohol inks and almost all paints work.
Yes. And somebody wants to know about the rag that you're using to clean the plate. Is it wet?
It's wet. And it's just a microfiber cloth. It's nothing special. It's just what I like to use. Mm-hmm. Any rag will do, but you need to have it wet. Mm-hmm. Or moist or something like that. Let me see. Is there anything that I haven't shown you yet?
Well, here's another broad question.
Yeah.
What do you use the prints for when you're finished?
Okay. So I don't know what the time is. Yeah, I can show you. So what I usually do is, I'm not a huge card maker, but you can make these into cards, right? So I have ones that I make before, and you can just adhere them on top of a double card, and then maybe machine stitch or something around the border, and then you can send them like that, right? What I usually do is I make some kind of a finished product with it. I don't know, a finished print, a mixed media piece. Let's call it a mixed media piece. So these are prints I made on top of an old paper collage, a vintage paper collage. And I also make a lot of books. And this is a book that I made this afternoon. And what I used are these cards that I printed on all along. So what you do is you fold them in half, and not this way around, but the other way around. You have to make sure that the sides are really even, and then you make sure that the crease is really good. And I usually use a bone folder, but I did not think of putting that on my table. Anyway, so you fold them in half with the image on the inside. And then you, glue these together like this. And then you glue the next one. Let me do this quickly. And you glue the next one like this on the previous card. And that's how you make a book like this. And I know it's really hard to see how I did it exactly. However, Birgit Koopsen has once done a video on this technique. She has made this book, a book like this. And the video is on the video tutorial is on the Gelli Arts YouTube channel. And I've given Madison a link, and she can put it in the chat. And then you can watch how Birgit creates a book like this. And you can stop the video and create it along with her. But it's super easy. It's just these cards, these double cards, glued together like this. But you need to take time and make sure that it all aligns perfectly, because otherwise the book will become like crooked. Right? So that's something that you can do. And it's what I would do with these prints, but you can also just fold them the right way and then maybe put a little sentiment on top, or maybe doodle on top, or stamp something on there. It's all possible.
Okay, so they are asking, Marcia, to see the cover. They want to see the cover of your book again, and they've asked if you could hold up the tissue paper so they can see that design again.
Okay, so this is the cover, and this is another one of these cards, and that I just cut in half to fit on the front. And this is, I reinforced the spine with bookbinding tape. And you can get bookbinding tape at Michael's too. I think it's called book repair tape, but it's kind of the same thing. It's like linen tape or textile tape, if that's something that you have at home, that would work. And this is the back. Yeah. And what was that other thing? The tissue paper.
Yes, the tissue paper. Mm-hmm.
So this is what the tissue paper looks like now. I think it needs more. And actually, we still have a little bit of time, so I could do that. You don't have to print on cards. You can print on tissue paper too. Let's take a really dark color. This is Payne's Gray. This is not a super even layer, but that's okay. I still have flowers here that I haven't used yet. So let's put some of these on here. These are wet because they were in water. Let's do it on top of this. So I have the tissue paper doubled up, so like this, because if I push into this, I can do that. Chances are that the paint comes through the tissue paper, and then the whole purpose of me keeping my hands kind of clean is gone. But the tissue paper, this smells just amazing, these flowers. So if you can, I don't know if, yeah, you can see it. So now I can really see where the edges of the flower are, and I can really push to make sure that, like this, I don't know if you can see that, but if I push on the flower, even the paint comes through the little holes in between the leaves and the stalk and those kind of things. So let's see what this looks like. Now, this is beginning to look like something, right? And now if I pull these off, I can try and see if it prints on this. Now, sometimes you get these creases and they will show up in the print, but that's, I'm okay with that. If you don't want that, you need to use a fresh sheet of tissue paper. Oops. So the plants were wet and now my tissue paper is tearing, but it's okay. Now I have this. Can you see that? Really, really nice detail. It's kind of hard to see. You have to trust me and try it yourself. And then you will see it's really, really beautiful. So, and what I do with this is I usually don't use it like this, but you can. Let me see if I have one example where is it? So this is, you can see the creases here. This is tissue paper glued on top of, I think, another print with a lot of green that perhaps I did not like. So I covered it with the tissue paper. And that's, that makes it really cool. I like that there's something still visible underneath. You don't know what it is, but there's something there. And what I also do is I use it in tiny bits, just as a design element. That's something that I do too. Let me see if I have another one here. Also, just torn up as a design element. And here is also everything you see here. I don't know if you can see that. But this and this, all this magenta stuff is all tissue paper glued on top. And I even think that this twig here is also glued on top of another print. So you can layer and layer and layer. So are there any more questions? Because we have...
Funny you ask. Somebody just asked, what kind of glue are you using to glue your tissue paper on?
I use, this is my favorite, Liquitex Matte Medium. It's a really nice liquid glue that dries matte. And I'm sure you have the same thing by Golden and by Deco Art and I don't know what else, what other brands there are at Michael's, but you need to look for something that's called Matte Medium. And that's a really nice, it's kind of sort of like Mod Podge, but not quite the same. I like this so much better than Mod Podge. But if you have that at home, you could use that too. Any more questions?
I don't see any more right now, no.
Okay. Well, in that case, anything you might use a paper napkin? Yes, exactly. So I think that's it. I don't think I have any more to share. So I can see a lot of thank yous.
Yeah.
Thank yous, yeah.
Okay, I think they loved it.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, Reina, can you put the, yes, thank you. Later. So thanks everyone for coming. I had fun and I hope you did too. I don't know if you played along with me. I hope you did. If not, this class is recorded and you can always watch the playback on the Michael's YouTube channel and on the Michael's website. And this, it should be there within 48 hours after this class. So the next Zoom class is by Birgit Kooksen, the next Zoom class, the Gelli Arts Zoom class, and it's on July 20th at 12 p.m. CT. And Birgit will be printing on feathers, which is something you don't want to miss. So register for that class and watch it. And then the next Facebook Live, I think, on our Gelli Arts Facebook page is on July 21st. And that's also with Birgit. Yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.